What would your life look like if you spoke to yourself with the same kindness and encouragement that you give to someone you love? Just think about it for a second. Most of us are our own worst critics, constantly beating ourselves up, and we believe that harsh self-talk will somehow push us to do better. But what if I told you that that was the exact opposite of what is true? Welcome back to another episode of Master Your Mindset, Master Your Life. I'm your host Sanj, and today we're talking about a topic that is both incredibly powerful and surprisingly overlooked when it comes to success, and that is self-compassion. Brené Brown said, talk to yourself like you would talk to someone you love. And that's the essence of what I'm talking about today, self-compassion, and just how that may be, that little nugget of wisdom may be the missing piece in your journey to achieving the goals that you desire. I'll be talking about things like why we berate ourselves, why we beat ourselves up, the reasons behind it, and why self-compassion is a key to staying motivated. And as always, I'll be giving you some ways in which you can start showing yourself more self-compassion today. So if you've ever found yourself stuck in a cycle of negative self-talk, wondering why you can't seem to get ahead, then this is for you. So we berate ourselves, and it actually has such a profound impact on our mindset and our motivation. Why are we so hard on ourselves? And you probably notice that you may have an inner voice that's so much more critical than anything you would ever say to anyone externally. You'll be telling yourself things like you're not good enough, or you always mess up, or you'll never be successful. And the kicker is that when you think that being tough on yourselves will somehow motivate you to do better and work harder to succeed, you're wrong. It doesn't work. That strategy does not work. In fact, people who are self-critical, they're actually more likely to feel anxious, depressed, and demotivated. Self-criticism has actually been shown to reduce your sense of self-worth and actually lower your productivity over time. Why does it do that? It's because when you're constantly berating yourself, your brain will go into fight or flight mode. And what that does is it starts to release a stress hormone that will make it even harder for you to think clearly and stay motivated. Can you imagine that you're the one causing yourself to stay where you are? And over 80% of people actually struggle with low self-esteem at some point in their life. And a big part of that is actually driven by their own negative self-talk. The truth is when you're beating yourself up, you're chipping away at your own confidence. You're the one causing the damage. It's like trying to run a marathon with a backpack full of rocks. And every time you're beating yourself up, you add another rock to that backpack. You won't get very far when your inner voice is that weight holding you back and weighing you down. But why? Why would we do this? Why are we so hard on ourselves? Why do you not talk to yourself the way you would someone you love? Would you actually say half the stuff you say to yourself to someone you love? If not, why not? Why do they get treated better than you? The reason you're so hard on yourself, 5 of the biggest reasons why you're so hard on yourself is perfectionism. That's the first, because you're setting impossibly high standards for yourself. And then when you're falling short, even by a little bit, you go straight into self-blame mode. You'll be trying to convince yourself. When we're using perfectionism, you'll be there saying, oh yeah, good enough is never enough. Perfectionism convinces you that good enough is never enough. But actually, done is better than perfect. Done will get you momentum. Done will get you moving forward. Done will actually get you to start building your confidence. You holding back because of perfectionism, that's just going to cause you nothing but negativity. The next thing is fear of failure. A lot of us believe, and a lot of us will actually find this, that you're being harsh on yourself actually prevents you from making mistakes. But actually, what it does is it keeps you stuck in a fear-based mindset where you're actually afraid to try new things because you're scared of failure. You're scared of not succeeding. So when you're harsh on yourself, thinking, yeah, no, that means I'm not going to make mistakes. No, what that is going to do is it's going to actually stop you from trying so you don't make mistakes. So you'll just stay within your comfort zone because, again, as I always say, it's comfortable, it's familiar, and it's holding you back from living your true life and fulfilling your full potential. The third reason that you will berate yourself is because you're comparing yourself to other people. You're sitting there, you're seeing people who have been working 10 years longer than you, further ahead of you, and you're there like, why are they that far and you're not? You see these people who may actually be showing you snippets of their life, their highlight reel, and you're there assuming that that's their whole life. As a result, you're going to feel inadequate and you're going to start beating yourself up for not measuring up to these people. But you're not seeing the whole story. You're not seeing the hard times they're going through. You're not seeing the late nights, the early starts, the ups and downs. The fourth reason you're going to be berating yourself and just being so harsh to yourself is because your old programming, your inner critic, is the result of the messages that you've received as kids or even from as you were an adult. Whether it's from parents, teachers, environment, you internalize those criticisms and you end up carrying them into adulthood. And what happens there is they manifest as self-criticism. So those stories that someone tells you when you were, say, 10 years old, you start telling yourself when you're 30. The final thing is misinformation, because we have been led to believe that self-compassion is just the same as self-indulgence or laziness. You think that if you're kind to yourself, you'll become complacent, like it's going to be like giving yourself an easy way out. But actually that's couldn't be further from the truth. You're actually not giving yourself an easy way out. You're not making it easy on yourself. Yeah, self-compassion is actually the key to motivation and achieving your goals. Yeah, it's actually the thing that's going to help you get there. You may think that being gentle with yourself will make you lazy, but the opposite is true. When you practice that self-compassion, you are actually going to become more resilient, more motivated, and more likely to stick to your goals than someone who is self-critical. Because when you're kind to yourself, you create an environment of psychological safety. You build that growth mindset in yourself. You're not constantly in fight or flight mode. So your brain is more relaxed, it's more creative. And then when you're in that state, when you feel peaceful, when you feel happy, when you feel like you can actually do things without your inner critic berating you for them, you're more willing to take risks because you know that you're not going to be tearing yourself apart if things don't go perfectly. When you practice self-compassion, you're over 25% more likely to stay motivated over the long term because you bounce back from failures faster. You see setbacks as a learning opportunity, not reasons to give up. You build a growth mindset. So when you're sitting there, when you're treating yourself with kindness and encouragement, you're actually creating the mental space to actually improve your life, rather than staying stuck in a cycle of self-doubt, self-criticism. You're giving yourself that pat on the back, saying, I'm here for you when I need you, but you can do this. And self-compassion, it isn't difficult. It's very simple to actually plan and do and practice. And as always, I've got a few ways in which you can actually start implementing it today. And this again takes minimal time but will maximize the impact. Okay? So the first thing I'm going to say is practice gratitude. I love this practice, and I think it has such an impact on every single area of your life. When you're shifting your focus from what you're lacking to what you already have, it actually means you can actually focus and remind yourself of your strengths and the progress you're making. The next thing is take breaks when you need them. Burnout is real, and pushing yourself beyond your limits, it won't lead to success. What it will lead to is exhaustion. Listen to your body, listen to your mind, take breaks when you need them. What you'll do is you'll then start coming back more refreshed, more productive, and you'll end up feeling happier when you're doing this. Take care of yourself. You can't pour from a full cup if your cup isn't full. The third thing is to embrace perfection. Remember, perfection is not the goal. Progress is. You can't get perfect if you're not making progress. Celebrate the small wins. Learn to accept the mistakes are just part of the process, that they're going to happen. The more comfortable you get with imperfection, the more resilient you'll become. You'll be willing to take those chances. You'll be willing to make those risky moves, those things where you've thought just outside of the box, and actually that small little thing could change everything for you. Number 4 is be mindful of your inner critic. Self-awareness is the key. The next time your inner critic shows up, take a deep breath and remind yourself that you don't have to listen to that voice. Replace that negativity with words of encouragement, or just a simple reminder that you're doing the best you can at the moment. But keep going forward, keep progressing, and keep improving. Finally, best till last, talk to yourself like a friend or a partner. Next time you catch yourself thinking something negative, ask, would I say this to my wife? Would I say this to my kids? Would I say this to my husband? If the answer is no, then maybe it's time to reframe that thought. Reframe it with kindness and encouragement, like you would encourage a kid. Because at the end of the day, that's what you are. You're still a kid at heart, trying to do it their best. As these 5 steps, they may be small, but when you start practicing this self-compassion, you will see huge changes in how motivated you feel, in your ability to focus, and your resilience. So I want to take a moment to just reflect. What would change in your life if you treated yourself with more kindness and more compassion? Self-compassion isn't about going easy on yourself. It isn't about lowering your standards. It's about creating a mindset that helps you stay motivated and bounce back from failure. It's about creating a mindset that keeps you moving towards your goals, building yourself up instead of tearing yourself down. So as you're there going about your day-to-day, ask yourself, how can you be a little bit kinder to yourself? How can you encourage yourself the way you would encourage someone you care about? Thank you for joining me on Master Your Mindset, Master Your Life. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to share it with someone who could use a little more self-compassion in their life. And don't forget to hit the subscribe so you never miss an episode. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to leave a review, because it really helps the podcast grow, and I would so much appreciate that. You can also follow me on Instagram at just.live.coaching for more mindset tips and tricks. Take care of yourself, and remember, you have the power to master your mindset, and when you do, you'll master your life. Treat yourself with kindness and watch how your mindset, motivation and life starts to change. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.